She's outspoken. She's not afraid to ask tough questions. She's not afraid to speak her mind. You've read her column. Maybe you're a fan on Facebook. No topic is off limits. Straight to the point. There's no chaser. You're now watching Straight Talk with Carla Zuill.
Welcome to another edition of Straight Talk, and I'm your host, Carla Zuill. With us in studio, we have Miss Jody Lewis of the J.D. Lewis Group. Ms. Lewis is one of the two brainchilds behind the recently held event, Dream Big with Trent Shelton. Such an awesome feat. How did that come about?
You know, it was an amazing experience from start to finish. And it came about when my partner and I'll call him a partner, and even growing closer now, Jensen Cross, we had just a mutual respect and a mutual want to do something phenomenal for Bermuda. I think Jensen and I are equally on a phase in our adult lives of inspiring and motivating others. So we kind of sat down and wanted to design an authentic way to do that. And so as we were looking at, and as you know, Jensen has pulled off some amazing events in Bermuda. So as we're looking at people to bring in and seeing who can have the greatest impact in Bermuda, it was completely obvious that this guy by the name of Trent Shelton just was buzzing. You know, he was just buzzing for both of us. So we got together. Jensen reached out, locked him in, and came on board and helped get this thing done.
And how has response been?
Absolutely amazing. I think that for me, and I think equally for Trent, the feedback has been one of the most important elements of this thing. To be with Trent and to hear the stories of how he's changed people's lives. You know, he is a person that was in a rough spot in his life, and what I love about him is that he is perfectly clear with that is his struggle. You know, that was something that he battled with, and how he got out of that battle and overcame and became his better self. And so we felt that message can influence Bermudians right now, you know. And so originally when we started listening to his messages, it impacted our lives, obviously, you know, but we felt that it can go a lot farther. And then when we saw the following that he had with Bermudians and how many people were reposting this thing, we said, you know, we could bring him here. Like, this could be a really good thing. And, you know, I think with every kind of promoter, event planner, public relations, marketing strategist, you kind of go to that, okay, will people really come? How many people really do want this? You know, so we had those discussions, and the response has been overwhelming. You know, people have been inboxing myself, inboxing Jensen, and hitting up Trent, and it's been one of those things that you just know that this was something that was right, you know.
Bermuda's in a time of somewhat of a crisis. How important was it to have his message now? Extremely
important. And I will say that because Bermuda, if you listen to the radio and hear, you know, the news and everything that comes on, it's always so negative right now. We're saturated with negative things about this island that it actually takes over the positive things that are going on. You know, there's so many Bermudians doing amazing things that are living out their dreams, that are dreaming really big. We have young athletes around the world competing and winning. We have artists doing phenomenal things. We have young politicians that are getting their feet wet in that arena. So much positive things that we're doing, and it's being just kind of taken over by negative kind of media. So it's actually pretty funny because this is kind of a new media phenomenon with the social media elements that he brings to the table, but he brings it in such a positive way that we wanted that to shine over the negativity. So Hansen and Jensen came up with the name Dream Big, and we were battling with names, and he said, you know what, Dream Big, that's we just need our dreams to come alive. And as you know, as you said, the economy is not doing well. So now it's time for us as Bermudians to kind of step out on that faith and make our dreams a reality. Because we need that. We need innovation. We need new ideas. We need, you know, critical thinkers, strategic planners to figure out a way to get us out of this debt, to decrease crime, to increase revenue, and all those savvy words, you know. So
Now, we've heard from Ms. Lewis, but after the break, we're going to hear from Trent Shelton. So stay with us. We'll be back in a moment. Whether you follow him on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, the name Trent Shelton is steadily becoming a household one in Bermuda. Well, we have him here in studio with us. Welcome.
How you doing, Carla? Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
And it's a pleasure to have you. Now, you've become a phenomenon in Bermuda culture.
Really?
Yeah, for me anyway. I remember someone sent me one of your quotes, rehab time. And I was like, who's this guy? And then I followed you. And who is Trent Shelton?
That's a hard question. Actually, an easy, hard question. I'm going to be simple, but I'm just somebody who cares. Honestly, somebody who wants to help people not make the same mistakes I made. I want to be there for the people who are broken. I want to help people get out their struggle. That's all. Like, the titles don't mean nothing to me. None of that. I just want to help people.
Now, I was reading that you had an epiphany. You decided one day as a young man you wanted to eliminate all negativity out of your life. Do you care to share any of that experience?
Yeah, I mean, I played in the NFL, American football, and back in the States, it's like the biggest thing, professional sports, especially growing up as a kid, because you're either taught to be a rapper or athlete. And so ever since I was 5 years old, that's what I wanted to do. So blessed enough, I made it to that level. But when I made it to that level, I stopped doing what it took to get me there. I don't know if you ever did that before. It's like I had that goal. Once I got there, I kicked my feet up. I was like, oh, I made it. Now I'm good. Mm-hmm. And I think that really hurt my life because I started to live the lifestyle. I wanted to fit in. I wanted to buy the jewelry, buy the rims. There's nothing wrong with having nice things, but my question is, what are you doing it for? And I was doing it to please people, to go back home so they can look at, oh, Trent's in the NFL because he has this car. And I was losing myself, clubbing every night, doing all these things and feeling empty inside. And two incidents that happened that really changed my life, made me wake up and take some personal responsibility. The birth of my son. As a father, when he was first born, I told myself, I don't want to follow in my footsteps. And that's like a bad thing to tell yourself if you're a dad, if you're a mother, if you're anybody, because somebody's looking up to you. And the second thing was my college roommate committing suicide. And going to his service made me realize life is not promised or guaranteed. So what are you doing every single day to leave something here after you're gone? Because he had no U-Haul attached to his hearse, right? He just him. And so immediately, I started saying rehab time and making these videos. And rehab time, rehab for me wasn't drugs and alcohol. Mm-hmm. It was from a football standpoint. You're injured, putting the strength back into a weakness. And if we're all honest in here, we all have something that we can better. We are imperfect people. And, from that point on, I started making the videos really for myself. That was my way of healing. And to see it go across the world is crazy.
Now, let's backtrack a bit. You're a pastor's son. Mm-hmm. So was there conflict for you even with that? I know you said that your lifestyle started to change somewhat.
Right.
But did you have conflict as being the child that was raised, in the house of God?
More personal. I'm not from my parents because my dad is a realist. And he understands that we're going to make mistakes. And that's what I love about my dad and my mom. They planted seeds in my life, but they let me grow and learn. They didn't shelter me and say, you can't go this or you can't do that. Because usually you do that to somebody, they wild out. And for me, they let me find my own path. And it's funny that the seeds that they planted blossomed in my life at the right time.
Mm-hmm. Was it difficult for you to walk away from the NFL when?
Oh, yeah. It took a while. I mean, I was holding on to it. And that's what I always tell people. You're probably holding on to something you need to let go of, whether it's relationships, addiction. For me, it was football. Like, that was my identity. So if I felt like if I lost that title, who would Trent Shelton be? Mm-hmm. I felt like I would be a nobody. And me letting it go, realized that God had a bigger plan for my life. And now, looking back, I'm like, I'm glad I let go. I'm glad I made that decision.
Did anyone try to stop you from taking that
decision?
Oh,
yeah. A lot of people. A lot of people in my so-called circle, my so-called friends, because I wouldn't consider them friends no more, but at that time, they were riding my coattail, per se, because when I was in that position, I had a lot of money. So they know we're going to get in the club VIP, be next to celebrities, rappers, whatever people you see on TV. They knew girls were going to be around. They knew all these things. So, of course, they wanted me to still do it because that was their benefit. Mm-hmm. And once I stopped doing that and let go of it, they were like, you're crazy. Like, you're stupid. Like, how are you going to provide for your family? What are you going to do? That's your income. And, to this day now, I guess they see the change. and it's helped them change their life also. But yeah, they didn't want me to let it go. It didn't make sense, and it really didn't make sense to me at that time neither.
Do you have any regrets about walking away from that lifestyle?
No, not at all, because if you look from a worldly standpoint, and I'm never a person of status or anything like that, but I'm more, I guess, popular or whatever now. I'm able to travel the world doing what I love to do. I don't have the pressure of worrying about on Tuesday, terrible Tuesday, if a GM's gonna call me and I'm cut and I gotta go back home and deal with that. Now I found my purpose, I'm at peace. And I always tell people this, they never believe it. I mean, at football games, it's 100,000 people there screaming your name and cheering for you. But I get more joy going into an audience. It could be like right now, like speaking about my purpose than I ever did playing football. And so that makes me content with my decision.
Now, as a godly man, is it hard being a young black man who is so into God?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I think with anybody really, but I mean, I get criticized, tattoos, dreads, I have people who bring up my past. I'm like, we all have past, so what does that mean? So I leave those things on the internet. Like, you can go on the internet right now and might see me at a party or something like that, and I'm not saying nothing's wrong with that now. But a lot of people will try to find the wrongs in my life. And I tell people, yeah, if you search my life, you're going to find some wrongs. Just like if I searched yours, I would find some wrongs. Mm-hmm. And so how about you search for the things that somebody's doing right? And that's how I try to live my life. So it's very tough, but when those things happen, I have a strong team around me. I remember my why. I remember my purpose. And I don't let opinions take me away from that.
Now, you talked about the videos that you just started blogging. How deep did you go as far as talking about what you were going through?
Everything. Like, I'm an open book with people. Like, when when I'm speaking wherever, like, I'm open. I don't leave nothing on the table. Like, somebody said, Trent did this. I already talked about it. So those videos are my life. Things that I went through, breaking your own heart. Really, with me, that was football. That was relationships. Know your circle. Things that I went through. I mean, even the videos to today, certain things I go through, certain things that are in my past or conversations that I have. So I'm an open book for people. And that's sometimes a good thing and sometimes a bad thing.
When we come back, we're going to talk to Trent about where does his creativity come from, insofar as how does he come up with these thousands of posts without ever repeating the same one twice. We'll be back in a moment. And we're back. And with us, we have international motivational speaker, Trent Shelton. Now, before the break, he was explaining to us who he is, what's his purpose. So let's dig a little deeper. Now, Trent, do you feel that you've lost anything, even financially? Because, I mean, it's NFL, big money. Have you lost a lot by what you decided to do?
Yeah, I mean, especially at the beginning, I definitely did. But it's kind of crazy, though, because my mindset when I was in the NFL was what God blessed me with was for me, nobody else. Now, we move into a point where, yes, financially it is good, but now these blessings are the blessing of the people and to implement programs and to help people live their purposes and things like that. So at first, yes, but as it's starting to move on, God is just increasing it every day.
Now, following you on Instagram, for example, you're always posting your rehab time, your sayings. Where did those come from?
From God, honestly. Just on my heart at the time, things that I've been through, things I'm currently going through, especially, I mean, you might can feel the passion in the video. Some of the videos, they're like, turn down your volume, you're way in the screen, but usually those are the times that I'm going through it directly, but everything comes from my heart. It has to be something that I experienced, like even earlier, I made it about the unfinished church here in Bermuda. I made a video about that related to people living an unfinished life. So a lot of people ask, like, can you make a video about this and that? But if it's not on my heart to do so, I just can't do it. So sometimes you might go 2 weeks without getting a video, but I want to be real and authentic and give you a message that's on my heart.
Now, how did you blow up as such? You started posting your videos, and then what happened?
I took it from there. Really, I just was consistent. I did my part. And honestly, it's people who shared it. I mean, you ask anybody about a video, somebody shared it. So that first person, whoever shared it, just started it. And I think that's the thing with a lot of things in life with people and their goals and their dreams is that they're so focused on the now so much that they don't see the big picture. And they're so focused that, oh, okay, if it's 1 like, if it's 2 likes, if it's 10 likes, oh, nobody likes this. But I remember when I was getting 10 likes, I was getting 15 likes, 100 likes. Wow, 100 likes. And now it's up to 10,000. So you have to be faithful when it's few in order to get many. And so that's why I just stay consistent. It's really never really about that, honestly. It's about touching that one life. When I make a video, when I speak, that's what I do it for. It's one person out there that needs this message. And if it's more than that, clap, but that's what I focus on.
Now, with social media being so interactive, when do you ever have a chance to just get away, for example?
That's tough, because rehab time is not an on and off switch for me. It's a lifestyle. But when I'm back home with my family, I go on stints where I'm not on my social media for a week because I go back to my principles, God, my family, and then rehab time. So I have to make sure my family's okay. Make sure I'm traveling a lot. And at first traveling is good. I love being here, but I miss my family, honestly. So when I get home for April, I'm not doing really no speaking engagements, maybe 2, and spending that time with the family. So just being around people who don't see me as like Trent Shelton, whatever. I'm just Trent, and that's what I like to be around.
What keeps you humble?
Realizing that it's bigger than me, and realizing that my life was more than football. Because you have to realize something. When I was playing football, I wasn't humble. All the spotlight was on me. All the attention was on me. Look at me. Look what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm flashy. And to be humbled from that showed me that, God's in control of my life. And so that's what keeps me humble, because honestly, even when I speak and things like that, like I talked to somebody earlier, I said, I feel like I'm talking common sense. I'm not telling you nothing you don't know, but God just has a way of relaying it to other people where they can receive it. So that's what keeps me humble. It's bigger than me. I feel like what I'm doing is really nothing special. I'm just sharing my heart.
What's next for you? I mean, you're building such an empire. Did you expect, how long have you been doing this anyway?
About 3 years, maybe 2 years officially, and I never wanted to be a motivational speaker or a speaker in general. If you know me outside of speaking, I'm very reserved. I don't really say much. I'm a listener. I'm an introvert. But when it's time to talk about something I'm passionate about, that's when I kind of get like that. And no, I never saw rehab time getting this big, because I didn't start rehab time for organization. I started rehab time to rehab my own life. And to see it get like this is crazy. But that just shows you what God can do for your life.
Now, you were saying that you were sharing your videos, and basically you were revealing a very intimate side of yourself. How important is it to take the mask off?
It's very important. If you can't be real to yourself, how can you be real to anybody else? And that's why I always say it starts with you, because we live in such a society. Everybody wants to put up a front. Everybody wants to meet that perception. And the problem, perception is not bad, because people are going to think what they want to think, but you can't let that perception affect your reality. And a lot of people are good with their perception, so their reality stays the same. And so you have to be honest and true to yourself. And that's your greatest gift, is you. That's your greatest gift. And when I do things, that's why I try to show people that I'm possibility. Like, when you leave from hearing me speak, I want it to be so simple that you say, man, if he can travel the world, I can do that too. Or whatever it is that I want to do, I can do that too. And so that's just being authentic to yourself. And that's the best way to live your life, because you're not fronting, there's no stress. You're just being you. And the people see the two things with me. You can love me or hate me, but I promise you I'll never stop being myself. Because the people who deserve to be in my life are not going to try to change me or have a problem with me. And those are people that I care about.
Now, social media can be very evasive. I know you can't read every single comment you receive, but do you monitor it as far as, do you respond sometimes to
I try my best. And I was always that person who was like, man, I'm going to respond to everybody. And then now, in my inbox, I have 90,000 inboxes. And so it's like physically impossible. I know a lot of rehabbers across the world are like, Trent never responds, but I try my best I'll spend an hour, if I can, a day responding to people, or I just write on the comment box. So it hurts me that I can't, but I try my best. And that's why I give the videos. I try to tell them, because I can't change you. You have to make a decision to change for yourself.
And when we return, we're going to talk to Trent about his message for Bermuda. And we're back. Now, Trent, did you expect to take off like this? I mean, social media, people think it's just a fad.
Yeah.
But how long has it been since you really started to take off?
I always say it's been since I committed to rehab time, for years. But I guess in other people's eyes, maybe about 2 years since the videos have took off. And it's crazy because it's the support is outside of just the Facebook. So like the shows are sold out and people are there, and that's awesome to see that. Like people are really taking it. They're not just watching the video and crying or clapping, whatever they're doing. They're actually coming out to hear the message. So that's more of a compliment than anything.
Have you had a most memorable moment in what you've been doing by living out your purpose?
Oh, so many. I mean, so many stories from people saying a simple message that I say, you're beautiful, you know, or smile, or you can get over your past, saying that stopped them literally from committing suicide. Like, I'm like, wow, you know, or little Zariah, the little girl, calling me the brown boy, 3 years old, has a hair disease, but saying she's beautiful, telling her mom she's beautiful in the smile. And that right there like tore me apart. Like I cried like a baby when I saw that, because if a 3-year-old can take it and digest it, then I know it's something real and authentic.
Let's talk about letting go of the past real quick.
Yeah.
How important is it? I have to admit, I'm one of those that for a very long time wouldn't let go of the past. Why is it so important?
Because you can't bring old feelings into new seasons, and you can't bring old baggage if you're trying to go somewhere to a different destination. You know, holding on to the past will just keep you there. And the crazy thing about it is, as I love to say this, is that my past didn't make sense until I moved past it. And as long as you're stuck on that same chapter of hurt, that same chapter of depression, all those things, you're cheating yourself of your life story, and you'll stay stuck there. And a lot of us are staying in seasons. Like, seasons are for us to grow. We come in there, learn, good or bad, but we move on. But a lot of us, and I was that person, was stuck in a season for so long, holding on to something that my life no longer needed. So as long as you're there, as long as you're accepting it, don't complain about it, because you're choosing to be in that position. As much as that hurts and I'm stepping on toes, but you're choosing to be there. So it's nobody's fault but yours. And once you take that personal responsibility, say, you know what, I can change this situation, you take the power out of anything that's holding you back.
Now, you've done a show here, and before the show, there was some feedback, you know, through the social media, and I observed one young lady saying, you know, why are we bringing him here when we have so many locals who could give motivational speeches? And I said to her, well, it's exciting that he's coming, but there is a prevailing mindset in Bermuda that it's better if it's outside of the island. Do you think that that is limited to an island mentality?
That's everywhere. I mean, from biblical standpoint to everywhere, you know, the people around you, and I'm glad my family is not like this, but even my outer family, I guess you can say that, or people in my circle, those are the people you expect the most support from, whether you're city or area code. Like, okay, I'm gonna put on for my city, but those are the people who will support you the least, because they feel comfortable telling you no. They feel comfortable seeing you from your past, whether it be high school. I remember you in high school, you did this. Why are you doing this now? But as soon as you branch out and the world starts to accept you, then they get on the bandwagon and they want you back. So I think that goes for anything, whether you're in music, whatever it is. Your city usually is the last people to get behind you, and that's sad, honestly. They should be the first people to say, you know what, go push, but everybody loves you until you become competition, as I like to say. Like, everybody tells you to do better, but as soon as you start to do just a little bit better than them, then it's a problem. And that's a sad way to live, honestly.
Now, what would you say to a person, regardless of what the industry or area that they want to pursue something in, what would you say to them when they're afraid to unstick themselves because it's not within the norm?
I would say forget opinions, because that's the reason why we're scared of failure. And failure, to me, doesn't exist unless you stop trying. Like, you talk to any person who's successful, like, they had failure. They had setbacks, as I like to call it, because failure is only permanent when you say, you know what, I quit. The race only ends when you quit, when you decide to stop running. So I would tell people, like, don't listen to people's opinions, because I don't care how great you are, how bad you are, somebody somewhere going to have something to say about you. So you might as well give them something great to talk about. You know, that's how I feel personally. And people might say that's arrogant or cocky, but I think that's confidence. Because, like I said, it doesn't matter. Everybody's going to have an opinion, but you can't let their opinions take you away from your purpose.
If social media, for some reason, got wiped away tomorrow, how would Trent Shelton get his message out there?
I would travel the streets. I would do what I have to do. I would go speak, whatever it is, to get it across. Like I said, I mean, as an artist, as a speaker, whoever you are, your audience is an ear. And there's ears all around you. So that's what I would do.
Okay, well, we're going to lighten it up a bit.
Yeah.
And how's your experience in Bermuda been thus far? What have you done that's really stood out?
Well, right now, y'all, like a lot of Bermudians have saying that it's saying that it's cold out here, but actually, you usually see I'm dressed, shorts, shirt. It feels great to me, but they told me not to get in the water because it might be too cold. So I haven't touched the water, but I went sightseeing. I went to the Unfinished Church. I thought that was pretty cool. And I went to Art and Mel's. I hope I said that right. The famous fish sandwich.
Fish
and I
sandwich.
ate the whole sandwich. They were like, you're supposed to save half for later. I ate the whole thing. So it was great. So I love it here.
And what has, I know you've seen a bunch of people, I'm sure, who've recognized you. How has that been?
It's been cool. It's been love, and it's not like I can't stand the celebrity thing because I'm not that. Like I feel like nobody is a celebrity really. We're all human. We all breathe, oxygen, all those things. So they treat me with respect. Say, hey, I appreciate what you do. Dap me up, hug me, and that's it. And keep it moving. I really appreciate that.
What made you decide to come to Bermuda? We're such a small country. What made you decide to come?
Jansen and Jody reached out to me, and I recently had went to Turks and Caicos, the island, and I just love the island life. I love the culture, and I want to come here. Somewhere different. Anywhere is a platform for me to share my heart, or somebody might believe in me enough to say, you know what, you have something that could help my community. I'm there, and Bermuda's a great place. Why not, right?
Right.
A great place.
Now, before we close out, I'm sure you've been aware that Bermuda, although a beautiful island, has and is experiencing a lot of struggle, unemployment, etc. So it's difficult times for some people. What message would you give those who are despondent and feel like there is no hope?
I would tell you this: keep moving forward and let nothing hold you back. The only impossibilities that exist, honestly, are the ones that you create. The only thing that can hold you back, no hands of anybody. So use no excuses. I always say weak minds create excuses, strong minds accept responsibility. No hands can hold you back, only the heart that's inside you. And once you realize that, the only person that can stop you is you. You become your own competition, nobody else. So keep moving forward, even when things don't work out your way, even when it seems like there's no opportunity, create your opportunity. It was times where people didn't bring me in to speak. I said, you know what? I'm gonna create my opportunity. I'm gonna speak as much as I can. If you don't wanna bring me in, that's fine. But that's not gonna stop me. So don't look for excuses, find a way. Find a way and keep moving forward, let nothing hold you back. Like I always tell you, it all starts with you, right? So look in the mirror and check yourself.
Well, if that wasn't rehab time, I don't know what was. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of Straight Talk. I'm your host, Carla Zuill, and we'll see you next time.
Are you on financial assistance but determined not to remain on it for the rest of your life? Then send us an email at talk@channel82.bn.
Thanks for watching Straight Talk with Carla Zuill.